Today I want to talk about this topic. It's about a book called The Black Bourgeoisie. How it still affects us to this day. Why black people still are influenced by high income people that come from low income places or just a low income background. But so back then there was a hierarchy of black people before slavery was. Before a lot of the slaves were even free and moved up north, they were called the mulattoes, and they had their own morals and like their own culture, and they kind of moved like the white people, I guess we would have said. When everybody started moving up north and the mulattoes moved up north, everybody started, you know what I mean? Like the descendants of the mulattoes started to like get the values of the Negro mass. We're gonna call the other Negroes the Negro mass, which was a lot of the slaves that came from down south, the rural south. And they started, you know what I mean, kind of forming ideas and different traditions, and a lot of the new black society started to call the mulatto traditions like old fashioned, or that's for that time, you know what I mean? It's kind of outdated. They started gaining their own morals and like, you know what I mean, just values, and they started to look after people. They tried to like keep a status. They wanted to keep up with the Joneses, or they wanted to keep up with the white people, and they had started to try to compete with them. Like a lot of the black people that started doing good in the 1900s, early 1900s, like the teachers and like just people with like the good education and good jobs. They started to buy stuff that they really couldn't afford, but they just wanted to keep up with the people that could afford it and had the knowledge to have it. And you know what I mean? I see this reflect with the black community now. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because a lot of this is how it kind of reflects to now, because the book it talks about people start to form this idea of, oh, that's the white man's job, or that's the white man's business, or they start to form certain hatred over black people doing, I guess, white people stuff. And that's where black bourgeoisie comes in, because it's just like they formed this idea that black people have to do certain things. They only can do certain things, or they only can do, and it kept us in a bubble. It kept us, you know what I mean, struggling. It started to form. It started to get a lot of this knowledge, which probably wasn't the right knowledge from white people. Like it started to learn about gambling, prostitution, just all those things, and it kind of fell into our society, and it stayed there for years, and we still have it nowadays. Even like drug dealing, you know what I mean? So it's just like that's a big one. They wanted to do this so they can form. They wanted to form a status of, oh, I have money just like you, or I have this just like you, because we were never able to compete with the white people. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like we always wanted to be like them in a way, but at the same time, we kind of started to hate if a black man was to do a white job, or it was just kind of it's kind of falls into society now, and I kind of have my own experiences towards it, even back in school. But this kind of falls into society now because we're kind of still the same way. A lot of the black people back then, they looked up to the actors, and like a lot of the jazz dudes later down became disco, you know what I mean, shit like that, and they looked up to a lot of those people. But a lot of those people, they had the materialistic things, but they didn't really have the knowledge to keep their wealth going with those materialistic things. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of the lower income people, once they started to get a little bit of money, they wanted to go, oh, buy that new car, or buy that new house, or buy that chain that they really couldn't afford. You know what I mean? And I'm not even going to say the people with the influencers back then could even afford it either. You know what I mean? They were most likely just trying to keep up with the white person that was ahead of them. And the lower income people were just trying to keep up with the influencers that are from their communities, the lower income communities that were ahead of them. You know what I mean? And it kind of falls into the same thing now. Like you see a drug dealer, or you'll see just a guy that's even working a normal job trying to buy something that they see the next person that has more than them have. You know what I mean? They want the same things, and they start to gain the same morals and values. Like For instance, like a lot of the black community, they're in love with sports, and I'm not even gonna say the black community only, but they sit there and they gamble. They literally take their weekends to spend money on other grown ass men playing doing their profession, and they spend money on food and drinks and all this just for nothing. It's a waste of energy and time. And I feel like if our community actually spend time learning how to profit off these, not even just profit, just put our energy into ourselves, will actually be way. I mean, they would be way better off. But it's just um, I'm not in control to change any of those things. But I'm just saying, maybe this like knowledge that I'm giving to people that listen could make them form an idea of why our community is like this now. And it's like even just everywhere. I remember in school, I was dating around, and sometimes I would try to date white women. You know what I mean? And my friends would always be like, "Oh," or even it was more of the girls, but like they'd be like, "Oh, you trying to date this white girl? Like, why you like white girls? You like white girls?" Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Bro, what's the problem? Like, she's just a girl. She's a person. I like her for her. You know what I mean?" And it's just like, goddamn. Once I started seeing, it, I'm like, "Yo, people are really like fucked up in the head. Like, black bourgeoisie is really a real thing." And I remember I had some friends that I used to skate with, and a lot of people were like, "Yo, like, why you want to be around white boys?" Da 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 da. I'm like, "Yo, like, bro, it's really not that real. They're just cool people, and I like to skate. You know what I mean?" That was just what I never really grew up a racist. You know what I mean? I never really grew up like my family was. I mean, my mom was kind of like towards the black bourgeoisie side, and like, oh, I don't want to. I want you doing that shit. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, it's not like I really cared because I grew up around a lot of white people. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say a lot of white people. I grew up in the streets and around a lot of black people, but I knew white people my whole life, so it's just like I never really had hatred towards them. And I remember talking to this dude a couple months ago. I'm not even gonna say bro name or anything. I'm not gonna put bro on the spot like that. But he had got a watch or whatever, and I was like, bro, it was buzz down. It was a buzz down watch, and I'm like, bro, why you get a buzz, like why you didn't just get like something that was gonna appreciate in value? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit not appreciating, that shit depreciating. And I was like buying shit just plain Jane is really better in the market for the market. You know what I mean, for the price of the watch. And he's like, nah, I just want this. Da 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 da. Da. He was just making up every excuse because he just wants to be like the next nigga that's ahead of him. You know what I mean? Niggas just want to be niggas, bro. They just want to be. No, they just want to put their dicks on the table. You know what I mean? Like you get some money, now you flexing on every other black person. You trying to keep that secret. You trying to keep everything that you do a secret, and you're not trying to give niggas information. And even if you do, they don't want to because as soon as they get money too, they doing the same thing because it's just what it is. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Our ancestors was even doing it. Our great grandmas, our grandmas was even doing it. They was trying to keep up with the way. So why we trying to keep up with each other, and not only keep up with each other, we trying to keep up with the white people. It's not even just us trying to keep up with the white people no more. You know what I mean? So that's a big reason. Like big influencers now are like Kanye, Lil Baby, Playboy Cardi, all them motherfuckers. They niggas want to be like them. They want to be like that. And you think they know anything that they doing behind doors business wise? No, they don't know nothing about the deals that they have. They don't know how much money they get for their back ends. They don't know how much money they getting from their record labels. They don't ever know if they in a record, like they don't know if they if they owned by a Jewish guy. I'm not even gonna say that, but um they just see what they have. They see that Lambo, they see that necklace. They just worry about how many bitches they getting. You think they really worried about how much? You know what I mean? You think they care about what it took to get there? No, they don't care about that. Niggas just want to get rich tomorrow. You know what I mean? If they can't get rich tomorrow, they gonna go fuck it up and try to flex with what they got. You know what I mean? So that's black bourgeoisie for you. You know what I mean? Until we change and start um, making our morals different, having different morals and having different goals and having different our kids different is a big thing. You know what I mean? We're not gonna change. It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be the lower income black people that get a break, make it rich, break the curse, and then they doing the same thing that the last influencers was doing, spending money on shit that doesn't really matter. They know it's making niggas jealous, so they do it. Nigga, you ain't, what Kanye say? And I spent like $400 on this just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on this, just to lose money. You know what I mean? And this is why a lot of rappers go broke. They get that advance from that record label. Record label want that back. You know what I mean? They don't know how to flip that shit. They don't know how to, you know what I mean, profit. They still gotta owe that record label that money. It's it's literally like a loan. You know what I mean? Like, if we can all just start thinking strategically, you know what I mean, analytically, and 10 years ahead, and stop thinking so in the present, we'd be okay. You know what I mean? We just gotta make sure our kids are straight, because we already kind of fucked up, man. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. I gotta go to work soon. Try to edit this video and post it before I leave. And yeah, thank y'all for watching. I love y'all.